In a cozy little burrow beneath an old oak tree, there lived an adventurous mouse named Nibbles. Nibbles was not like the other mice. While they were content with nibbling on crumbs and scurrying around their homes, Nibbles had a passion for skateboarding. He owned a miniature skateboard, complete with colorful designs that he'd painted himself. Every day after finishing his chores, Nibbles would put on his tiny helmet, strap on his pads, and glide through the meadows, showing off his tricks and flips. His dreams of grand adventures often led him to explore beyond the grassy hills and into places that sparked his imagination. One sunny morning, as Nibbles practiced his favorite skateboard tricks on a smooth stone path, he overheard a group of woodland animals chatting excitedly nearby. Curious, he stopped to listen. "The Great Acorn Hunt is starting soon," said Benny the Bunny. "The prize is the golden acorn, hidden at the top of Ridge Hill." Nibbles' eyes sparkled with excitement. He had heard of the Great Acorn Hunt before. It was a race through the forest, filled with challenges and obstacles, leading to the elusive golden acorn, a symbol of bravery and ingenuity. "I want to join," Nibbles piped up, jumping in front of the group. The other animals exchanged skeptical glances. "But Nibbles, it's a tough competition. You're just a little mouse," said Millie the squirrel. Nibbles felt a twinge of doubt, but he remembered that every adventure starts with a leap of faith. "Just because I'm small doesn't mean I can't be determined," he declared confidently. As the day of the Great Acorn Hunt approached, Nibbles practiced hard. He wheeled through the grassy fields, trained on his skateboard, and planned his strategy for the race. He decided to combine his skateboard skills with his clever problem-solving abilities. On the day of the competition, Nibbles arrived at the starting line, where animals of all shapes and sizes gathered. Larger animals towered over him, and some whispered, "That little mouse thinks he can win." But Nibbles stood tall, determination shining in his eyes. With a loud horn, the race began. The animals shot forward, darting through the forest with speed. Nibbles hopped onto his skateboard, pushing off with all his might. He zipped along the path, feeling the wind rush past his tiny ears. The first challenge was a tricky muddy patch that the other animals ran across. But Nibbles had a plan. He skated around the edge, deftly avoiding the mud and gaining speed. Soon he was in the lead. "Look at Nibbles go!" shouted Benny the Bunny, eyes wide in disbelief. The next obstacle was a tall fallen tree, blocking the path ahead. Larger animals struggled to climb over it, but Nibbles spotted a perfect ramp. With a determined flick of his skateboard, he launched himself into the air, soaring over the obstacle and landing safely on the other side. "I did it," he shouted joyfully as he continued down the path, feeling more confident with each passing moment. Shortly after, they reached a steep hill called Whispering Ridge. The animals took a moment to strategize, but Nibbles had already thought ahead. He crouched low on his board, gaining momentum, and skated up the hill instead of trying to climb. The thrill of the ride propelled him forward, and he reached the top before anyone else. At the final stretch, a giant river lay ahead. A bridge had been washed away, and the other animals were stumped. They hesitated, worried they would have to retreat. Nibbles looked closely at the river and noticed some large boulders nearby. "Let's create a path," he shouted. Using his problem-solving skills, he encouraged the others to help him move the boulders into the water, forming a bridge. With teamwork, they constructed a safe pathway. "All aboard!" Nibbles called, and one by one, the animals crossed the improvised bridge. As they neared the finish line, Nibbles found himself racing against a speedy fox named Felix. The finish line appeared ahead, not far from the great oak tree. Nibbles pushed himself harder, summoning every ounce of determination he had.